Happy Halloween. What an absolute wild day in the NBA. But let's talk some more basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and I am not happy. Let's face it, that was an absolute crappy day yesterday. It was wild all around the league. Pistons beat the 76ers by 10. Bulls beat the the Magic. Nets beat the Grizzlies. Pacers hand the Celtics their first loss. Clippers lost to the freaking Blazers at home by 1 point. I don't know what to say, guys. We went 1-4. This is why I'm doing half unit plays. So when you have a day like this early in the season, when it's all over the place still, you don't lose the house or anything. I don't mean actually your house. Please don't bet your house. But anyways, 1-4. We'll go over the recap in just a little bit. Quick reminder: NFL Thursday Night Football preview and best bets video is out now. Go check it out. But before we start anything, we got a new Jabbo MVP. Let's pull it up. Thank you to @TaichoVini9034 for becoming a Jabbo MVP. We really appreciate the support. If you want to become a Jabbo MVP, click that join button below the video. It's just $2.99 a month. You get some badges, emojis, prioritize replies, things like that. But really, it's never required. Just always appreciated because everything we do here, obviously Discord and everything, is free. So thank you for becoming a Jabbo MVP. But we got a 4-game slate. That's right. It is small on Halloween night. But I'm going to start it out. And we got a dad joke. You know that. So here we go. I just found out I'm colorblind. That news came out of the purple. That might be good to some people and might be terrible. But anyways, in this video, we are going to recap yesterday, and then we're going to go over some more NBA team stats. That's right. I made another slide for you guys to give you some more info for what is going on through the NBA. And next week, we will be starting, like we did last year, NBA defenses versus positions. Eventually, we'll get to the hot shooters, things like that. We're going to give you a lot of info this year, just still gathering data and things like that. And then we'll give you our one best bet so far. We don't want to stay up all night until all the props come out, so I got one best bet. But then I'm also going to give you 2 leans that I'm thinking about, and then we'll add more in the morning. So, of course, we'll finish it with the recap. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Help this channel grow. Help that algorithm. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're on our way to 31,000 subscribers. And let's get into it. And it starts with the recap. All right, let's go over this crappy freaking day. Cavaliers win easily against the Lakers. That was the one everyone was sweating, saying, what are you betting it for? The Lakers, LeBron, it doesn't matter. He's 40. Cavaliers are a legitimate NBA team this year. Clippers, freaking, I don't know what else to say, guys. They lost at home. They shot terribly. They went 10 of 18 from the free throw line and lost by 1. That's what happened. So the first money line parlay goes down the crapper. Tyler Hero over 17.5 points, cash in the first half. That was a beauty. Draymond Green under 20.5 PRAs. They let him shoot, and he took a crap load of shots, and he scored probably about as many points as he usually scores in a week. He hit 3 of 4 or 4 of 5 or something from three-point range. You just tip your cap. Bad read, and he just decided to make all his shots all of a sudden. Miles Bridges over 6.5 rebounds. What in the world was going on? I don't think any starter for the Hornets had more than 2 rebounds this game, except for the center Nick Richards, who had like 14, 15, I don't know, something huge. I don't even understand. I didn't watch much of the game, but he got 2. I don't even know what to say. Just a terrible read. Cat under 22.5 points plus assists. Today was the game he decided to dominate and make every shot. This was a bad read. He actually cashed this on the other way for a loss on the first half. So we had 2 bets in the Knicks Heat game, and they both either won or lost in the first half. That was Tyler Hero and Cat. Either way, one of those days where you're happy you bet a half unit plays, but I know we can bounce back. There was a couple bad reads in there, but again, NBA is right now is just kind of still up and down, up and down. It's not steadying the ship at all, but we'll get more data and we'll get there. So the under tracker, this is our first bad day for unders, 0-2. So we are 8-4 this season on unders right now. There's the overall record, down 1.25 units. So we've been hovering right around that 0 mark from plus to minus and all that, but let's get back on a hot streak. So that is the recap. And now let's talk some NBA stats. All right, if you guys watched yesterday, you guys know I gave you some stats with defense, offense, things like that. Here's some more stats. So on the left side is all the defensive stats. On the right side is the offensive stats. So we got opponents PITP. As you can see by the lovely little key in the bottom, PITP means points in the paint. So opponents' points in the paint, meaning the Spurs are number 1, giving up the fewest points in the paint in the entire NBA. Clippers, Blazers, Mavericks, Bucks. Then the teams giving up the most: Celtics, Bulls, Jazz, T-Wolves, and Nuggets. And then if you go over there on the right side on offense, just so it kind of helps you with matchups and things like that, those are the teams that have the highest percentage of their points coming from inside the paint. That's the Raptors, Clippers, Thunders, Grizz, and Lakers. And then the teams with the lowest percentage of their points means they do not rely on scoring a lot in the paint. Magic, Hornets, T-Wolves, Bulls, and the Celtics way down there. We're talking 29.9%, just way lower. They just shoot threes all day long. And then we go to the bottom left, opponent fast break points. That's what FB is. The best teams in regards to defending the fast break. Warriors, who have just been playing really good defensively, only allowing 5.8 points per game on the fast break. Rockets, Kings, Nets, and Knicks. And then the worst transition defenses, T-Wolves, 19.3, Bulls, Hornets, Wizards, and the Lakers are struggling. The only team giving up over 20 points per game on the fast break. And then if we go over there on the right, the highest percentage of fast break points, you can see the 5 teams that really like to get out and run and score a higher percentage of their points from the fast break. Raptors, Warriors, Wizards, Suns, and Lakers. And then the lowest over there, obviously the Knicks are dead last week. Well, they play really slow at the slowest pace also, so that makes sense. Spurs, very slow pace as well. But again, this is a small sample size. But hopefully this kind of gives you some more matches. Take a screenshot of this. You can take a screenshot of the one from yesterday too, just kind of giving you some more data. Again, still only a little over a week into the season, so these numbers will change, but hopefully it's just kind of something to help you out as you make your bets. So that's what we got for the NBA stats, and now it's time for the best bets. All right, we head out to Utah where the Jazz host the Spurs. Jazz -2, total in this game 229.5. I just have to say something before we get into this. Me and Ryan just figured it out, thanks to Ryan actually, that the Jazz logo is actually a music symbol. I literally had no idea. I don't know why. So then I had to Google it before we went on. The Jazz logo, introduced in 1979, was featured with a musical note. It represented the team's early years in Utah and its connection to the lively jazz music scene in the area. I just had to point that out because this was just mind-boggling to me that that's what it is. So anyways, now Spurs are on a second night of a back-to-back here. You guys don't want to hear much about this game. I'm going to get right into the best bet, and it's a game bet. Give me the under 229.5, our first game total of the season for a half unit, -110. These are the two, not two of the lowest. These are the 2 lowest scoring teams in the NBA. Spurs 29th, Jazz 30th, averaging 103 and 102 points per game. That would be like number 1 and 2 in the 80s and 90s. But also the Jazz best player, obviously, Lauri Markkanen, may not play in this game, dealing with some back issues. Let's talk pace. Jazz 10th fastest pace. They like to play fast, but the Spurs have the 4th slowest pace. You've seen it on all the stats we've given out. They like to slow the game down, and that's what they're going to want to do here. Defensively, is probably the reason why we see such a high number. Jazz are not good. 5th worst defensive rating. Spurs, 12th best defensive rating. They've been decent this year. But you saw it earlier. Spurs are the best defense defending the paint, only allowing 36.7 points per game in the paint, which Jazz do score the 13th highest percentage of their points in the league from inside the paint. So they do rely on that. It may change a little bit with Markkanen, but they're going to have to hit some threes in this game, and they're not a very good shooting team, at least as of right now. So Spurs have not scored more than 109 this season. Now they have the second night of a back-to-back. It's not like they're going to come out fresh and lively or anything. The Jazz had a wild game in the opener, but since that game, they've scored 86, 102, and 96, averaging just over 94 points per game in the last 3. Now they won't have their best player more than likely. This is a complete and utter fade of the offenses. I understand these aren't the best defenses, especially the Jazz, but these offenses have looked so terrible that I just gonna ride the cold hands, I'll say. I don't know, something like that. But I think we're only getting this 230 because of the defenses, like I said. But again, 229.5. You don't usually get a high total like that when you have the 2 lowest scoring teams in the NBA just struggling. Even Wemby on the San Antonio side is struggling a little bit. And I think San Antonio, if they can control this pace, especially, I think 229.5 is too high because they do like to slow it down, play in the half court. They will defend the paint well. So as long as the Jazz just don't go crazy from 3-point range at home here, I like this game to stay under the 229.5 as my first best bet. And I got to get some sleep tonight, so I'm going to give you one best bet, but I do have a couple leans to talk about. So let's get to it. All right, let's get into 2 leans that I was kind of looking at tonight. I may add it as a best bet, or we may not. I'm not sure, but I want to talk through these. Maybe you guys like it or want to fade it, whatever it is. But here we go. Fred VanVleet, under 20.5 points plus rebounds. He's under this in all 4 games so far, averaging 17.5 PRs per game. It's been also an easy schedule for him. He's still not doing well. Since opening night, he's only taken 9, 12, and 14 field goal attempts, averaging around 7 rebound chances per game. which has turned into only 3 actual rebounds per game. He's under this in 3 of the last 4 games versus Dallas. Dallas does allow the 9th fewest points per game to the point guard position, average when it comes to rebounds. If you watch Houston, you know he's taking a complete backseat to Jalen Green in this offense. Jalen Green throws up the ball over 20 times every single game. And Van Vliet, when he does shoot, it's pretty much all from deep. I mean, not 100% or anything, but a very high percentage of his shots are from deep. So if he doesn't have a good 3-point shooting night, he should cruise, just absolutely coast under here. Obviously, if he's on fire from 3, you're never going to hit an under anyways. But for a guy that averages 10 field goal attempts per game, 7 rebound chances per game, I think 20.5 is a little too high, especially in this matchup. I like Van Vliet possibly as something to look at, under 20.5 PRs as my first lean. And again, I have not placed these bets. These are just bets I want to talk through with you. This second one is going to make some of you guys have your eyes roll. Luka over 29.5 points. Yeah, raise your hand if he has burned you already this year. He has absolutely struggled. Luckily, I have not bet his over yet this year. But here we go. If he's struggling this bad, guys, this is as buy low of a spot as you can get. You have one of the best players on planet Earth still, shooting 22 or more field goal attempts every single game. You just kind of have to take it here because he is due to bounce back. He has to. Whether it's this game or not, we'll find out. But when he starts coming back to Lukaville, I made that up. I don't even know what that means. Then I think he's going to be getting lines in the 30s. I mean, you're not going to see 29.5 point lines. Last 3 games versus Houston, how about 41, 47, and 37? Absolutely crushes them. Rockets, bottom 10 defense versus point guards when it comes to points allowed. And like I said, we're going to start seeing 32, 33.5 points lines for him once he starts playing like we all know he's capable of. He usually gets off to these slow starts in the regular season. I don't know what he does in the offseason, but either way, he's one of the best players in the world, so he will figure it out. Just something to look into as a little buy low spot. So those are my 2 leans, and right now, just my one best bet. Again, any added plays, and I will have at least one, will be in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. There it is, just the one best bet so far tonight. The night before, again, we will add plays, so be sure to check the pinned comments. But under 229.5 between the Spurs and the Jazz, minus 110 on pretty much every book. That is a half unit play. And if you just skip to this page, we talked about a couple leans for player props as well. So go check those out. But thank you guys for watching again, like always. Again, I hope you guys all have a happy and safe Halloween and have fun with those kiddos. But if you haven't already, also hit that like button and go check out that Thursday night football preview and best bets video as well. But thanks again. Hope you have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.